Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Gershwin and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about Space Marine chapters as we get into part 2 of the Storm Wardens. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day, so you don't want to miss out on that. And of course, if you have any suggestions about topics that you guys would like us to create a video on, please comment down below. With that said, let's get into 40 Facts on the Storm Wardens. The Storm Wardens are often unknown and unsung heroes of the worlds that they defend, as the Storm Wardens are a highly insular chapter, and there are only a small handful of monuments and imperial records outside of their fortress monastery on their homeworld of Sacris's Moon of High Castle that celebrate their long list of battle honors. The Battle Brothers of the Storm Wardens chapter are known to exhibit a fierce resolve in the face of the overwhelming odds and display an unstoppable drive to test themselves against all who would stand before them. Perhaps this feature of their character is the result of the beliefs instilled in each before he has even joined the chapter, for the warrior clans of Sacris are fearsome and resolute individuals. Others might say that the need to test their limits is a result of the Nemesis incident, for the Storm Wardens do not know which of the Primarchs is their gene father, who they should revere above all others. In truth, there are many chapters that do not have knowledge of the identity of their founding legion, but perhaps things are different for the Storm Wardens, because presumably they once possessed the knowledge, but necessity has shorn the link. Few Battle Brothers can imagine such an existence. The doctrines and dogma of the chapter, including accounts of its founding and its earliest battle honors, locked deep within the stasis vaults in the deepest levels of the fortress monastery. Some Storm Warden Battle Brothers become disturbed with the fact that so much of their chapter's heritage is lost, and are consumed with an existential grief. The chapter's chaplain are ever watchful of such afflicted brethren, and when they are identified, they are counseled to renew their quest for excellence, challenging themselves against ever greater foes. In some cases, the chaplain must set the target of the quest himself, knowing that in its completion, the Battle Brother will find respite from his spiritual turmoil, on this side of the grave or other. The Storm Wardens, like the Pharaoh tribesmen they recruit from, value personal honor and physical strength at arms overall. Many Storm Warden Astartes prefer to challenge enemy commanders to single combat in order to test themselves against the mightiest of enemies. Storm Wardens often seek out single combat with a foe they consider worthy of honor, although more than a few veteran sergeants and captains have fallen against particular dangerous opponents this way. As noted, the Storm Wardens are an unusually insular chapter and rarely visit other worlds in the Imperium. In fact, the Calyx sector is largely unaware that it is even home to the Astarte chapter, with the exception of certain Inquisitors and sector governor lords. Much of the chapter's standoffish culture results from the Storm Warden's deep sense of personal honor. Some Imperial analysts believe that these Space Marines prefer not to stain themselves through association with so many of the disreputable worlds of the sector that surround them. Despite their remote nature, the Storm Wardens rarely clash with the Imperium's other Adepta, as Space Marines often do, having assisted both the Inquisition and the Imperial Guard in numerous campaigns and battles throughout the Imperium's history. Many Imperial frontier planets, under dire threat from Xenos or the forces of chaos, have witnessed the incredible sight of the Storm Wardens' drop pods entering their atmosphere, each containing a squad of 10 Astartes who will defeat the foe of the Emperor and defend mankind. This is the true way of the honor. While fierce upon the field of battle, Storm Wardens are no less committed to the tenets of personal honor and obligation, generally considered clannish and aloof, even by other Space Marines. Storm Wardens prefer to remain distant from the Imperium at large. A Storm Warden is slow to make friends, but esteems and protects those who he perceives to become companions. Amongst the Storm Wardens, one's word is his bond, and honor is paramount. The night before battle is often spent in meticulous planning of tactics and strategies, sharing quiet camaraderie amongst the fellow warriors. many of the most senior battle brethren engage in ritualized duels so that the victor may gain a coveted place in the vanguard. Most Storm Wardens enjoy debates and crafting intricate points to support their arguments, although some outsiders see these tendencies as quarrelsome or insubordinate. However, once a course of action has been agreed upon, a Storm Warden will set aside any dispute and carry it out, perhaps because of their fondness for debate or their own turbulent history. Storm Wardens have an interest in mysteries and enigmas. This curiosity has led more than a few battle brethren of the chapter to volunteer for the Death Watch. When battle begins, Storm Warden Astartes fight with knee fever, and often seek out an enemy champion or commander to test their skills against. The Storm Wardens maintain a high degree of isolation from many of the other institutions within the Imperium, and although their homeworld is located within the region of space once called the Calyx Expanse, very few amongst the ruling classes of the Calyx sector or elsewhere are even aware of their existence. One body that the chapter does appear to have closer ties than normal with is the Adeptus Mechanicus. Because the chapter maintains a large number of armored vehicles, its forge is well served by tech marines, but some would say that this in itself is not sufficient to explain the closer than usual ties. Perhaps the answer is to be found deep beneath the fortress monastery of High Castle, sealed within the stasis chambers of the Watchtower. In battle, like most Codex-compliant chapters, the Storm Wardens perform well at all forms of combat, but they prefer one devastating strategy. They prefer heavy armor, and their assault unleash numerous Predator main battle tanks and land raiders. The enemy is first subjected to a savage but brief bombardment from either a strike cruiser in orbit or a Starfiend run by a Thunderhawk gunship. This pins the enemy in place for an armored assault by the chapter's Predators and Land Raiders, supported by the Rhinos and Razorbacks, carrying tactical and First Company Stern Guard squads into battle. These tactical squads are flanked by Predators and supported by Vindicators and Whirlwinds. Elite Terminators and Tempest Blade squads often go to war mounted in the mighty Land Raider, while Bike and Land Speeder squadrons range far ahead. The intention of such doctrine is not to gun the enemy down with a formidable firepower mounted on each vehicle, for these weapons are used to support the warriors once they have dismounted. Upon closing with the enemy, the Storm Wardens draw their chainswords and the Sacris claymores, and engage the enemy in the manner of their forebearers, and the bloody maelstrom of close combat. This armored assault has its roots in the tribal culture of Sacris. Many Storm Wardens use their armored vehicles as steeds to carry them into combat, where they launch assaults against the enemy and fight according to the tenets of the Way of Honor. Their preference for fighting alongside their armored units has led to many stunning tactical feats, and also even the balance of forces, so that they can fight their enemies on more even and thus honorable terms. It is in close combat that many of the chapter's traditions are most fully expressed, for the Storm Wardens are possessed of a fierce sense of pride and believe that honor is to be found in the act of striking the enemy down with one's own hand. To this end, the Storm Wardens utilize the fearsome claymore, wielded by the clans of Sacris. Each battle brother practices endlessly until he is a master of its use. Only when he is judged worthy by a battle brother formally allowed to wield his claymore on the field of battle, mostly limiting its use to officers and veterans. Many claymores have been passed down through the generations, and some are truly ancient relics forged by the clans of Sacris, and later fitted with power field generators to wreathe their mighty blades in shimmering deadly force. A master of the Sacris claymore, wielding this weapon against the foe of the Emperor, is an awesome sight indeed, and one that fills the heart of the faithful with as much pride as it inspires dread in the souls of traitors. And those were 40 facts on the Storm Wardens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, share this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever social media you guys use. If you want to check out more lore on the Storm Wardens, click on the link below. It's the link to the wiki page of the Storm Wardens. They have a lot of things that we did not cover, like their battle cry, their chapter home, or their planet, their fortress monastery. Just a lot of information that you would like to know about the Storm Wardens, so please check that out. If you guys have any suggestions for other topics of Warhammer 40K, specifically Space Marine chapters, comment down below. Help me out. What type of Space Marine chapter would you guys like us to create a lore video for next? Comment down below and we'll be reading those. If you want to support us a little bit more, jump on over to Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you guys. If you can't support us on Patreon, we understand. Simply by liking, commenting, and sharing, it helps out the channel. So please do that, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.